Hello, in this video we are going to discuss the elementary math functions. So let's begin. So here we have got the common math functions on the left hand side which are used in MATLAB. So the first one we have got is the absolute. So by its name it is used to calculate or to find the absolute value of any number or any integer. So here you can see we have calculated in the example the absolute of -3 and its absolute is 3. The second one we have got is the square root, and this function we have already discussed in the last video. So square root of 85 is 9.2. The third one we have got is the nth root, and this function is used to find the nth root of a number. Like in square root, you can see that the nth root is 1 by 2. So in the nth root, we can define any root of the number. So for example, the root of -2 is 1 by 3. So first we have to define the number, then we have to enter the root. In the example, -2 is the number and 1 by 3 is its root. So in the function we have written -2, 3, and we have got the result -1.2599. So in this way you can calculate any root of the number. You can enter 1 by 4 or 1 by 5. You can see that another answer we have got is 0.6300 plus 1.0911 iota. So the answer are both equal. Both answers are equal, -1.25 or this answer, both are equal, but this answer is a complex form and this is in the real form. So both answers are same, both answers are correct. The another function we have got is the sin x, and it is function and it returns the value -1, 0 or +1. It can return only 3 values depending upon the polarity of that number. Like if you enter -8, it will return the answer -1, showing that the number is negative. Similarly, if you enter sin 0, it will return 0, and similarly if you enter sin positive number, it will return +1. So this function is used to return the polarity of any number. Another function we have got is the remainder, which we have already discussed, and it is used to compute the remainder. Like first we have to enter the number which is to be divided by another number, y. In the example, 25 divided by 4, and we have got the remainder 1, which is 25 minus 24. The another function we have got is the exponential, and it computes the value e to power x, which is base for natural logarithm, and e to power 1 is equal to 2.7183, and here we have calculated the value e is to power 10, and its answer is 2.2026 exponent 4. Another function we have got is the log x, and it calculates the value ln x, and you have also seen in your calculators that ln x function is also available, and it is used to calculate the natural logarithm of any number. So here the log 10 is calculated in the example, and its answer is 2.3026. The last one we have got is the log 10x, and which is the common logarithm. So log 10 is 1. The 10 is its base, and the 10 is the value of x which you have entered, and in the example log 10 is 1. So these are the common math functions used in MATLAB, and on the right hand side you can see these are the practice questions that I want you to practice. These are very simple questions. You can easily solve these questions by using these functions over here, but for hint I am going to tell you few about these questions. Like here you can see that a vector has to be formed from -2 to +2 with an increment 1. So I'm going to show you that how to create this vector. It's very simple. Similarly, a vector has to be formed in this question also, in question number 3, from -9 to 12 with an increment of 3. So this is also similar to question number 1, in which we have to form a vector. I cleared the screen, and here I am going to make a vector from -2 to +2 with an increment of 1. So I define a variable equal to, and from -2 colon with an increment of 1 and another colon to +2. Press enter, and here we have formed a vector from -2 to +2. Similarly, you can form other vectors with other increments, like in the question number 3 from -9 to +12 with an increment of 3. So here I take another variable y, and from -9 with an increment of 3 to +12, and here we have made a vector. So I hope you can solve these questions, and if you have any problem or you can face any issues, you can also ask me in the comment section. I will be there to help you out. So other questions are also related to these functions, and in the question number 6 you can see we have to use the sine function, which are also available here, and in question number 7 we have to change the format to ret, which is the fraction form. So you have to bring results in the fraction form, and what we have to display, we have to display the value of x vector divided by 2. Only you have to form a vector and then you have to divide it by 2. So that's very simple, and you can solve these questions. Let's move on. Here we have the functions used in discrete mathematics. So the first one is the factor x, and it is used to calculate the prime factor of any number. Like in the example, the factor of 12 is calculated, which is 2, 2 and 3. It's very simple. 2 2s are 4 and 4 3s are 12. The second one is the greatest common denominator, and here we have to define the two values, and you can see in the example 10 and 15 are defined and the answer is 5, which is common in 10 and 15 both. The third one is the LCM, which calculates the least common multiple, and here you can see the LCM of 2 and 5 are calculated and the LCM is 10. In the another example, the LCM of 2 and 10 are calculated and the answer is 10. Other function we have got is the rets, and it represents the number in fraction form. Like in example, rets 1.5 is 3 by 2. So 3 by 2 is the fraction form of 1.5. The factorial x calculates the factorial of any number. Like for example, the factorial of 6 is 6 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 and multiplied by 1, and it's equal to 720. So you can also calculate the factorial also in this way. So this function is also very helpful. Below factorial we have got a new function n choose k. So n choose k is a function which is used to make a combination of k from n. So n is the total number and k is the number of combinations you can make. For example, in 10 items you can make 120 different combinations of 3. So this is the basic concept behind this function, that you can make 120 different combinations and each combination contains 3 elements. So this function is very useful in statistics, where this type of functions are mostly used. So you can also use this function. The second last we have got is the prime x, which is used to calculate the prime number less than that number you have defined. Like primes 10 and the answer is 2, 3, 5, 7. These are the prime numbers below 10. And the last function we have got is the isPrime function, which is used to check whether the number which is entered in this function is prime or not. So you can see in the example 7 is the prime number and it returns 1, and if the number is not prime it will return 0. On the right top is rounding functions, and the first one is the round, and what it will do, it will rounds the number to the nearest integer. Like 8.6 it will round to 9, 7.4 or 8.4, it will round to 8. The fixed function rounds the number to the nearest integer towards 0. Like if you enter 8.6, it will not round to 9, it will round to 8. What this function is doing, it truncates the number. Similarly, 8.6 to 8. Another example, minus 8.6 to minus 8. It truncates the number towards 0. Floor we have got is used to round the number nearest integer towards negative infinity, like minus 8.6 to minus 9. Ceil function is used to round the number towards the nearest integer towards positive infinity. Like if you enter minus 8.6, it will move the number to minus 8, which is towards positive infinity. So these are the functions which are commonly used in MATLAB. So here down we have got the exercise questions, and I want you to practice it. These are very simple and related to these functions. The reason that I'm not solving these questions is that they are very simple and you can also do it. And if I start solving these questions, the video will be too long and you will feel it boring, because these questions are very simple and you can easily solve it by using these functions. So I want you to practice, because practice can only make you perfect in these functions. So that's it, and I hope you have understood this lecture. And in the next lecture we are going to discuss the trigonometric functions. So thanks for watching and see you in the next one.